President of FLO, the President of FICCI, Mr. Rashesh Shah, President-elect FLO, Pinky Reddy, and Vice President FLO, Harjinder Kaur Talwar, to take their respective seats on the dais. Just a reminder, very shortly, our chief guest, the Honorable President of India, will be with us. I request you to please arise to welcome him. I request the media friends in front to kindly take the seats. The President is about to make his entry. A request to our friends from the media, kindly settle down, please. Please, can everyone stand up for the Honorable President of India? I request everyone to stay. Namaskar. The Honorable President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovindji, it is my honor to welcome you and each and every illuminary who is with us today to the 34th annual session of the FICCI Ladies Organization. It is a momentous occasion for us at FLO. For the very first time in the history of FLO, the Honorable President of India is gracing our annual session. Thank you for the band from the Bihar Regiment for your powerful rendition of the national anthem. The band led by Nayak Subedar Man Bahadur Gurung is currently posted in Danapur, Bihar. Thank you for joining us here today. Please may I invite our chief guest, the Honorable President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovindji, the National President FLO, Vasvi Bharatram, President FICCI, Rashesh Shah, President-elect FLO, Pinky Reddy, and Vice President FLO, Harjinder Kaur Talwar, to light a diya each. bright, warm, enthusiastic, Vasvi Bharatram is the 34th National President of FLOW. Her simplicity, energy, inclusive spirit, constant strive for perfection, and enduring nature have become her hallmark at FLOW. She is no stranger to the cause of women empowerment and is a strong advocate for moving women to equal participation and equal opportunities across society at all levels. She is the joint vice chairperson of the Sri Ram Schools and is on the board of the SRF Foundation and Save the Children India. May I request the National President FLOW, Vasvi Bharatram, to give the welcome address.
Thank you, Avantika. Namaskar, Honorable President of India, Shri Ram Nath Kovind ji. A very warm welcome to the 34th annual session of FICCI Ladies Organization. This truly is a proud moment for us at FLOW as we have amidst us the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and the first citizen of India. Sir, thank you for gracing us. Sir, thank you for gracing us with your presence. It is indeed a huge privilege for me to welcome you here today. Shri Kovind ji has served as the Governor of Bihar and was a member of the Parliament. A lawyer, a veteran political leader, and a long-time advocate of egalitarianism and integrity in Indian public life and society, Shri Kovind ji has been a very strong votary of women's rights too. Sir, your insights and experience would lend tremendous value to our program and further the cause of women's empowerment. I would also like to welcome all the ambassadors, dignitaries, President FICCI, Mr. Rashesh Shah, past presidents of FICCI and FLOW, the Presidium, the governing body, FLOW and YFLOW members from Delhi and across India, friends from the media, students, family, my friends, ladies and gentlemen. As Pulitzer Prize winner Sheryl Woodan said, if you economically empower a woman, she represents enormous opportunity that can actually be transformative, not only for her family and community, but at an aggregate level for the economy and the country as a whole. As women take on an increasingly important role to propel our country forward, FLOW plays the role of a catalyst to bring about a positive transformation. Hence, the theme of our event this morning, the 34th annual session, is Women Transforming India. Sir, I would like to share with you that FLOW is the women's wing of FICCI. FICCI was launched 90 years ago on the call and inspiration of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi ji. It is therefore a great privilege for us to be part of this historic institution. Over the last 34 years, FLOW has carved a niche for itself and is today the oldest, largest, and the most premier women's business organization, not just in India, but in all of Southeast Asia. Thank you. With 6,000 plus members across 14 chapters pan-India, FLOW has been working towards the objective of promoting entrepreneurship and professional excellence. Our goal is to build a strong and powerful network of women leaders. Through dialogue and creative interactions, we hope to communicate to all stakeholders the vital contribution that women can play in nation building. I would now like to take a moment to share a few key initiatives that we are working on. FLOW's Women Empowerment and Skill Initiative has skill-trained 5,300 women and skill-enhanced 1,650 women over the last 3 years who have now joined the economic workforce. Swayam, which is our business consultancy cell, of which 450 women have been beneficiaries so far, creates entrepreneurs and mentors them through their journey. Any woman anywhere in India can connect with us and we will help her with her business plan, marketing, etc. till her dreams become a reality. Our health initiative, Nurturing the Nurturer, was conceptualized for women to understand the importance of prioritizing their own health and wellness. We have held cancer screening camps for more than 1,000 women and held menstrual hygiene and general health camps for more than 1,500 women. We have provided training in digital literacy to 1,200 people, which has aided women entrepreneurs in remote areas to get access to greater market linkages. Flow prepares women to become meaningful contributors to company boards. It has a legal advocacy cell to help them make legally correct decisions. And we are also creating a women's industrial park in Hyderabad. Each year, we strive to create a fresh body of knowledge. This year, we have published a white paper, Call for Action Expanding Cancer Care for Women, brought out in collaboration with Ernst & Young, a women's artisans craft directory covering 29 states of our country, highlighting the creative dexterity of more than 400 women, and a publication on business laws in India in collaboration with Cyril Amarchand and Mangal Das. Apart from this, Flow works towards providing meaningful experiences for its members through inspiring speaker interactions, networking events, workshops, delegations, and awards. Speaking of awards, we are very honored to have with us here 9 dynamic women, Flow Women Icons of 2017-18, who are truly inspirational leaders in their own fields. Today, we salute you and celebrate your significant contribution towards transforming and building brand India. Heartiest congratulations to each and every one of you. You make us so proud. Your success stories will inspire us to introspect on our own capabilities and strive to greater levels of excellence. A very warm welcome to all of you. A first of its kind, last year, Flow created a gender parity index to measure the gender diversity, parity, and accomplishments on various parameters in the formal business sector. Today, we are also presenting the Flow Gender Parity Award Index to Synchrony, which has been ranked #1 on the index. A very warm welcome and congratulations to the Synchrony team. I would like to end with a quote by Queen Rania. A woman caring for her children, a woman striving for excellence in the private sector, a woman partnering with her neighbors to make her streets safer, a woman running for office to improve her country. They all have something to offer, and the more our societies empower women, the more we receive in return. Thank you.
Thank you, Vasvi. Flow's incredible journey under your stewardship is an inspiration. I request our National President Flow to present our chief guest, the Honorable President of India, with a small token of our respect and a green certificate. Honorable Sir, as a custom at Flow, we are planting 10 trees in your name in the Sundarbans, and there is a link on the green certificate which will enable you to view these trees. Thank you. I request the National President of Flow to release the 34th Flow Annual Report and present the first copy to the Honorable President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovindji. The 34th Flow Annual Report covers all the events and initiatives of Flow for the year 2017-2018. It gives me immense pleasure to share that Flow has organized over 468 events this year across all its chapters. And now, for the moment all of us have been waiting, may I request the Honorable President of India to kindly deliver the keynote address.
National President, FICCI Ladies Organization, Srimati Vashvi Bharatram, President, FICCI, Sri Rashesh Shah, President-elect, FLO, Srimati Pinky Reddy, Senior Vice President, Srimati Harjinder Kaur, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Very few gentlemen are present here. Good morning to all of you. I am happy to be here for the 34th annual session of the FICCI Ladies Organization, which is one of the most energetic and visible wings of FICCI. I congratulate FLO and its members for their work in promotion of entrepreneurship and professional excellence among women. I have been told that FLO does not limit its activities to metro cities. It has 14 chapters across India, the most recent having opened in Uttarakhand in January 2018. FLO is particularly committed to the empowerment of rural women. It is appropriate then that the theme of today's annual session is Women Transforming India. I am given to understand that this session has been planned as a culmination of skill development and capacity building programs for women at the grassroots of our society. Such efforts are commendable. As the baton passes from your organization's outgoing president to the incoming president, I am confident that the pace will continue to be maintained. Ladies and gentlemen, women constitute half our country. They contribute to our economy at work and at home in many diverse ways. They are the seat anchor of our society and our national life. Yet, when it comes to business and commerce, it is regrettable that women have not been given their due. No doubt, progress has been made. My attention has been drawn to a study that says that the number of women CEOs and MDs has risen to over 20%. A decade ago, this number was just about 10%. Globally, Fortune 500 companies account for only 3% of women CEOs. In India, 11% of companies have women in such leadership roles, including some of you in this auditorium. In recent years, changes in the law have made it mandatory for listed companies to appoint women directors. All this is certainly worthy of praise. Nevertheless, challenges still remain to be addressed. We need to create conditions for more and more of our daughters and sisters to come into the workforce. We need to push harder to ensure appropriate, encouraging, and safe conditions at home, in society, and at the workplace to enhance the percentage of our working women. Currently, this number is below expectation. Many causes have been identified, but to my mind, these are excuses, not reasons. As the proud father and father-in-law of working women, I would be the happiest if we could change this. If more women become part of the workforce, both household incomes and our GDP will rise. We will become a more prosperous nation. Much greater than that, we will become a more equal society. Ladies and gentlemen, the real responsibility of organizations such as FLO is not merely to skill young women for jobs. That is, of course, important in itself. But of even greater importance is the role FLO plays in encouraging women to become entrepreneurs, job creators and job givers rather than just job seekers. There is enough evidence that countries with a higher proportion of entrepreneurs in their populations grow and develop faster. In India, a society with a long and age-old tradition of entrepreneurship, this is so apparent. We live in the age of fourth industrial revolution, of 3D printers and robotics. It is throwing up both opportunities and challenges. This era requires us to design strategies for a future of entrepreneurship and not simply a future of employment. This spirit of entrepreneurship, this urge to build one's own little enterprise is not limited to gatherings such as these. A few days ago, I was privileged to meet a remarkable social entrepreneur, Srimati Subhashini Mistry from Hanspukur in West Bengal. An illiterate homemaker, Srimati Mistry lost her husband to illness before he could get medical help. To support her family, she began to work as a daily laborer and a street side vendor. But all along, she saved money for her dream. Eventually, she bought a small piece of land in her late husband's village, the same village where he had passed away due to lack of medical facilities. On this land, Srimati Mistry began to build a dispensary and then a modern hospital. Today, her hospital, so beautifully called Humanity Hospital, has 2 campuses and serves the society. This year, Srimati Subhashini Mistry was awarded the Padma Shri, and that is how I was honored to meet her. Her story is inspiring, but she is not alone. In March 1959, almost 60 years ago, 7 women in Mumbai came together, borrowed rupees 80 as capital, and founded Sri Mahila Grah Udyog Lijjat Papad. Today, the Lijjat Papad brand has traveled globally. Its annual turnover is about rupees 1,600 crore, and 45,000 women are stakeholders and beneficiaries. This too is a remarkable journey. We need to incubate more such success stories in our country. We need to take the magic of entrepreneurship to and facilitate the startups of our sisters and daughters at the bottom of pyramid. The government has a role here, but so do civil society and business, and organizations such as FLO. It is for all of you here to be the catalysts. You must support the less well-off among your sisters as they attempt to convert an idea into an entrepreneur. I look forward to FLO nurturing an enterprise on the lines of Lijjat Papad in each of the states where it is present. The government has taken decisive steps to promote a culture of enterprise among ordinary citizens, especially women. The Stand Up India initiative was launched in April 2016 to encourage entrepreneurship among women, SCs and STs. And about 40,000 loans have been disbursed, mainly to sole proprietors. Almost 39,000 of these have gone to women, an overwhelming proportion. Under the Mudra scheme, over the past 3 financial years, about 117 million loans have been sanctioned. Close to 88 million of these loans have gone to women entrepreneurs. And you will be glad to know that as of December 2017, the number of NPAs in the Mudra scheme is less than 8% of the loans sanctioned. Less than 8%. Genuine business failures can happen, but when there is a willful and criminal default on a bank loan, then it is families of our fellow Indians that suffer. The innocent citizen loses out, and ultimately the honest taxpayer bears the burden. It is admirable that at the grassroots of our country, in small hamlets and among traditionally underprivileged and deprived communities, Mudra entrepreneurs are striving to pay back their loans. These are hard-working Indians, many of them women. They are borrowing small sums as capital to set up little businesses. They are building their dreams. I would say they are building our India's dreams. It is for you to make their story part of your story. It is for you to reconcile the needs of balance sheets with the need for balance in society. Please ask yourselves how you can make these businesses, largely run by women, integral to your value chains. How can you partner these humble startups as vendors, ancillaries, suppliers, distributors, or in any other form? I am not asking you to compromise on quality or standards, but do see how in your companies you can incentivize small grassroots enterprises that are either run by women or employ a significant number of women. Our corporate sector must take determined steps towards creating women-friendly and gender-sensitive supply chains to empower women in our economy rather than just accommodate them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a moment of enormous opportunities for India. If our institutions and our society can be true to both the letter of the law and the spirit of justice, we can help every Indian realize his or her potential. And we can construct a developed India. There may be disagreement, but there must be respect for the other person's dignity as well. Dignity and civility, order and rule of law, fairness and justice, entrepreneurship and aspirations, we have to achieve all of these. We cannot pick and choose. Each of us has a role here. Each of you as an individual and a fellow as an institution can make a big difference to Indian business and to Indian society. It is for you to show the way. With those words and with best wishes to FLO for the coming year under a new president, thank you once again. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Sir, for your ever-inspiring and thought-provoking words. It has been a privilege for all of us at FLO and everyone in the audience to interact with you. I request President-elect FLO, Pinky Reddy, to offer the vote of thanks to the Honorable President of India.
Honorable President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovindji, thank you, sir, for kindly agreeing to be with us today and addressing our members at the 34th annual session of FLO. Your address was highly motivating. Sir, you have been a strong advocate of women's rights. As a visionary and leader of the nation, your achievements are truly commendable. Your inputs will definitely inspire us to work towards the right direction and contribute towards inclusive and sustainable development of the nation, especially in the area of women's empowerment. We at FLO
recognize that women's participation in the social, political, and economic activities of the country enriches the fabric of the nation. Increased access to resources and opportunities for women not only improves their own economic status, but also their households and communities. On behalf of FLOW, I would like to thank you once again for your presence here today, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I request everyone to stand up for the national anthem. Thank you. I request everyone to kindly take their seats. It is my privilege to invite the President of FICCI, Rashesh Shah, to share his thoughts with us.
Ms. Pinky Reddy, President-elect FLOW, Harjinder Kaur, Vice President FLOW, all the esteemed guests out here, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. And I want to start off by congratulating FICCI Ladies Organization on this 34th annual session to bring to an end a very exciting year that they've had. The theme for this year, Women Transforming India, is truly a very important one. Friends, couple of years ago, the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi, had said, in India we need to reform, perform, and transform. I think women have already reformed India, they have performed in India, and now with the theme today, we highlight how women are transforming India. FLOW has been a pioneer. FLOW has been truly a pioneer in doing exemplary work in promoting women entrepreneurship, women empowerment, excellence for women in workplace, and the Icon Awards that we have after this is truly a platform created to nurture excellence, to encourage more and more women entrepreneurs to participate in the growth and the development of our economy. Our economy is on a rapid growth path, though it may not always appear to us, but we are growing very rapidly. We expect that the Indian economy, which is about $2.5 trillion now, will be $5 trillion in the next 7 years. So we are going to double our economy in the next 7 years. But this growth will only happen and may happen faster if we ensure that more and more women participate in this growth, contribute to the growth, and benefit from this growth. Currently, women only contribute about 20% of the GDP and about 24% of the workforce, which is way too low, and we need to work hard to enhance this. There have been areas in India where we have seen women really come to the center stage. We've seen that in sports. In the last 10 years, We've had sportswomen like, PV Sindhu, Saina Nehwal, Mary Kom, Geeta Phogat, Babita Phogat, Sakshi Malik, Deepa Karmarkar. All this have shown that in a truly meritocratic environment like sports, Indian women are as good as anywhere else in the world. And I think we need to extend this a lot more. One of the other areas we have not spoken as much in India is in the airline industry. India has one of the highest number of airline pilots who are women. I'm sure all of us have experienced that. I'm sure all of us have experienced that when we fly, when we take a flight, there is a very high probability that we are being flown by a women pilot, which happens in India, but I don't see that happening as much when I fly in other parts of the world. So India is truly ahead of the curve, and we need to take these examples and ensure that in more and more areas, in more and more sectors, we see greater participation from women, especially in the corporate sector. In the business organizations, we have all seen that there is a strong linkage with more women in the workforce, more women on the boards of companies. It does truly enhance the quality, the performance, the corporate governance, and all of those aspects. The recent Kota Committee report is also another step in that, where they have also pushed this a little bit further in ensuring the independent women directors on the board. And as the President of India said, the more women in the organizations, the more there will be real balance in the organizations. We at FICCI have always been focused on this. We have decided that 30% of our sectoral committees will be headed by young leaders and women. We have also adopted the Vishaka guidelines. We have ensured that everything we can do to enhance the gender diversity. We have a program which is to really mentor women for corporate boards to help women play a big role in the boardroom. And over the last 4 years, this program has come of age, and we, along with FLOW, want to make sure this program becomes even bigger in the coming years. FLOW itself has done amazing amount of work, and I have been very, very impressed even in the last few years, the initiatives that we have taken to enhance the empowerment of women. In the last year, FLOW started an initiative called the launch of Gender Parity Index, which is truly innovative. It's a great tool to evaluate gender diversity, empowerment of women in the formal sector, and to also track the progress that is made over the years. This special index will truly encourage organizations to think how they work, how they think, how they act, to become more gender sensitive and provide more opportunities to women. Finally, I would like to say that to make sure women play a larger role in bringing about this change, I think it's a responsibility of not only women, but of all of us. All of us, men and women, have to take this initiative forward and take this cause forward. So again, I want to end by congratulating Vasi Bharatram for a fabulous year, completely filled with a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, including around this event. And I also want to wish Ms. Pinky Reddy an equally active and a very successful year ahead, Pinky. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your support and insightful words. We have a very special invitee in our midst today, Dr. Jyotsna Suri, Chairperson and Managing Director of Bharat Hotels Limited and past President FICCI. She is a role model for us at FLOW. She transformed the Lalit Suri Hospitality Group, a leading hospitality chain, into one of the largest privately owned hotel chains in India. It is befitting that she is honoring our iconic awardees, all highly accomplished leaders who have made their mark not only in India, but across the world. Dr. Suri, please can I request you to grace us with your presence on stage. I request National President Flo Vasvi Bharatram to honor Dr. Jyotsna Suri with a green certificate. Thank you. Women Transforming India is our theme for the Flow Icon Awards 2017-18. The Flow Icon Awards are an initiative of Flow to recognize powerful women of India who are influencing positive change in their communities and furthering the Government of India's mission of inclusive economic growth and radically impacting the gender landscape. These transformational women achievers have carved a niche for themselves and are playing an exemplary role in society in their respective areas. I request our special invitee, Dr. Jyotsna Suri, the National President Flo, and the President FICCI to kindly come in front of the dais to felicitate our esteemed awardees. Dr. Aarti Vij, the first woman spokesperson of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, is the head of the Organ Retrieval Banking Organization, ORBO, at AIIMS. Dr. Vij has led the management of the 2 super speciality centers, the Cardiothoracic Center and Neurosciences Center, for over a decade. Flo salutes her for spearheading and setting up ORBO. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Flow Icon Award for Health and Wellness, the charismatic Dr. Aarti Vij. Now on to our next awardee. Bharti Chaturvedi is the founder and director of Chintan Environmental Research and Action Group. She conceived Chintan as a partnership between the urban poor in the informal sector and urbanites concerned about environmental justice. We are grateful to have amongst us the winner of the Flow Icon Award for Environmental Protection, the passionate crusader, Bharti Chaturvedi. Ekta Kapoor, also known as the Queen of Soap Operas in India, is the joint managing director and the creative director of her production company, Balaji Telefilms. Kapoor gave television entertainment a huge transformation by pivoting women as the central point in her productions, a space previously dominated by men. It is my pleasure to present the winner of the Flow Icon Award for Media Entrepreneurship, the Queen Maker, Ekta Kapoor. Ekta ji, can I request you to please join us on stage? Falguni Nair, founder and CEO at Nykaa.com, quit her 25-year career in finance to chase her dream of building India's premier online retailer for beauty and wellness. Nykaa's brand portfolio stocks over 700 brands and more than 80,000 products. Please put your hands together for the winner of the Flow Icon Awards for Digital Entrepreneurship, the dynamic Falguni Nair. Kamal Kumbhar, born in Osmanabad, Maharashtra, to a daily wage laborer, lived in absolute poverty. She fought against the odds to start a business venture, Kamal Poultry, with a meager sum of 500 rupees. Today, her company earns around rupees 1 lakh every month. She has so far mentored more than 5,000 women from her state to set up similar enterprises and become self-sufficient. It is my honor to welcome the winner of the Flow Icon Award for Grassroots Mobilization, the inspirational Kamal Kumbhar. Namita Gokhale is a writer, publisher, and literature festival director. Her debut novel, Paro, Dreams of Passion, was first published in 1984. The recent, Things to Leave Behind, has been described as her most ambitious novel yet. Over the years, she has written several columns, articles, and reviews for many reputed publications. A dominant theme of her writing centers on the position of women in Indian society and the world at large. The winner of the Flow Icon Award for promoting literature, the articulate Namita Gokhale. Dr. Tessie Thomas is the project director for Agni 4 missile in DRDO, the Defense Research and Development Organization. She is the first woman scientist to head a missile project in India, honored with numerous awards for her outstanding contributions in the field of engineering. We salute the winner of the Flow Icon Award for Science and Technology, the Agniputri of India, Dr. Tessie Thomas. The very talented Twinkle Khanna seamlessly multitasks as Mrs. Funny Bones, crafts stories and funny fables when she is not running a design business and producing socially conscious cinema. Padman, the movie, is based on a book she wrote, inspired by a real-life story of a social activist who invented sanitary napkin machines to help rural women. Twinkle's endeavor to take menstrual hygiene out of the taboo area and to create the awareness it requires is commendable. Please put your hands together for the winner of the Flow Icon Award for Conscientious Filmmaking, the multifaceted Twinkle Khanna. Over the past few years, India has seen a strong policy focus on the empowerment of women and on women-centric issues. At this point in time, gender parity is critical and is undoubtedly a key driver for India's economic growth. FLOW commissioned Thought Arbitrage Research Institute and released India's first FLOW Gender Parity Index, a toolkit to evaluate gender diversity in India's formal sector. This is historic and India's first step towards examining itself in its formal sector, and it has taken FLOW all year to collect data from companies across the country and from different sectors. The results are out, and Synchrony Financial is ranked at #1 on the FLOW Gender Parity Index. May I request their representatives, Mr. Sunil Bijlani, Senior Vice President HR Asia, and Mr. Faisal Uddin Mir, Senior Vice President International Operations and Business Leader, to come up and receive the award on behalf of Synchrony Financial. Thank you. As we proceed to the interaction with our awardees, can I request the dignitaries on the stage to kindly take their seats in the audience? Vasvi, can I request you to stay back for a few minutes? Thank you. Please join me in welcoming on stage Ms. Shireen Bhan, the Managing Editor of CNBC TV 18. Shireen has been producing and anchoring flagship daily news shows like India Business Hour and What's Hot. She has also been hands-on in guiding and molding young business journalists. Over the course of her 16 years in business journalism, she has been the recipient of numerous awards and accolades. Shireen has graciously agreed to moderate this dynamic session for us. I request National President FLOW to felicitate Ms. Shireen Bhan with a green certificate. Thank you. Thank you, Vasvi. I request you to kindly take a seat in the audience. May I request all our iconic awardees to honor us with their presence on stage once again and lead the discussions. And we are looking forward to a very insightful discussion into their incredible journeys. Please, can I request all our awardees to join us on stage? Can we just request everyone? Shireen, can we have you in front, please, for a group picture? A request from the media. Thank you, Shireen. Over to you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for joining us here for what is a very special occasion and a very special morning. I've decided to change things a bit. It's a very long dais up there, and I don't know if I can do justice to having a conversation with people that I don't know very well. At least some of you I don't know very well, and I can barely see you if I'm tucked away in that corner, so I'd much rather do this face to face. Sorry if I've got my back to the audience, but I'll try and mix it up as I go along. Congratulations to all the winners here. I think it's a very, very diverse set of women achievers that we celebrate and honor here today. And on behalf of everyone here in the room, with a round of applause, congratulations once again to each and every one of you. I do want to make a point that the two gentlemen who came in here to be awarded at the very end for the work that they're doing for gender parity didn't actually get as much of an applause as all the ladies here. And I think it is imperative that to actually get this momentum going and to have a real honest dialogue and conversation around issues that concern women, we need men to be at the table. We need men to be in the conversation. So a bigger round of applause to those two gentlemen who came up here on stage for the work that they're doing on gender parity. Okay, and I don't mean to sort of dampen the mood or the spirit here, but I think it is important for us to recognize that while we honor and celebrate the success of these lovely ladies here today, we are facing a crisis and a challenge in India. If you look at any statistic, and I'll just quote to you the World Economic Forum's gender gap statistic, which is the latest numbers that came in for last year, we're actually seeing a decline. So India has actually dropped 21 spots when it comes to gender parity. We're below the global average, and we're doing much worse than our neighbors, which is countries like China, Bangladesh, etc. If you break that down, if you look at those statistics in greater detail, what does that tell you? It tells you that crimes against women are up from 41.7% to 53.9%. This is according to the National Crimes Data Bureau. This is the number for 2011-2015. If you dig even deeper, you look at female child mortality rate, it's 17% higher in India for women than it is for the boys. If you look at male literacy rates, the rate is 82% for men or boys versus 65% for females. So there is clearly a lot that needs to be done to improve India's lot when it comes to women empowerment and bridging the gender gap. But before we get down to what civil society can do, what the government can do, and what both can do together, I want to talk to each one of you about your individual experiences. And Twinkle Khanna, let me start by asking you, because often one of the things that women do is self-censor. And that's because we're constantly worried about how you're going to be judged. You look for external validation because that's how you've sort of grown up, that's the environment that you've grown up in, which is the case for most women in this country, and I would dare say for most women around the world. It's always that external validation that you seek. And in the quest to not stand out too much, in the quest to fit in, there is a lot of self-censorship. How did you get around that? Because you very openly, in your columns at least, talk about issues that women usually shy away from. You're open about what you believe in, you're open about your political choices, which is not particularly easy in today's environment. How did you get around self-censorship?
When I was growing up, what is politically incorrect right now to say, I was what was known as a tomboy. It was much later that I realized that my mind and the way I developed my mind was an androgynous mind. Now, what that means is that I don't look at myself particularly as a woman or So I don't have a place in society as a woman. I have a place in society as a human being. And so I'm not interested in appeasing anyone because I haven't been trained to do that. I'm here. It's a short life. I want to leave the world a better place than the one I found. And as important, I want to thoroughly entertain myself during that time. So I like jokes. I make fun of everything, whether it's politics and whether it's social mores, and I get into a lot of trouble, but I seem to be able to take it in my stride.
You said that you get into a lot of trouble. I'm sure that there's a lot of people who, at least on social media, etc., will troll you for the things that you say or the choices that you've made. Does that somewhere bother you? Does it sometimes hold you back from saying what you really want to say?
It's not just social media. In the times we live in, there's pressure from everywhere, especially when you talk about different things like politics. And sometimes I do feel that, oh my God, am I on the right path? But my mother has always told me that the reason I'm always spraining my leg is not because I have weak ligaments, but because I'm always twisting my foot and putting it in my mouth. So, I'm used to that. And well, I guess all that trouble has led me right here, hasn't it?
Yes,
Thank you.
And kudos to you and more power to you. Ekta Kapoor, let me ask you, because like Twinkle, you're somebody who hasn't shied away from making choices, sometimes choices that other people may not necessarily understand. I mean, you're this fiercely independent woman. You've stood up for what you've believed in, and people then often get confused by the narrative that they see you portray on television. And I know that there's the good stuff, and then there's the bad stuff, and there's the stuff in the middle. But how do you as a fiercely independent woman then portray the kind of characters that maybe you don't necessarily identify with yourself?
So actually my journey has been quite a paradox. I make movies which deal with sex and TV shows that deal with very conservative families, and I think that since both are two sides of the same coin, you know, I deal with everything with a pinch of salt. I agree with Twinkle that life is short. You have to find humor in it. And I personally look like a paradox because I think I'm quite a feminist. I say stories, but because if you look at them myopically, you actually see them on surface as extremely conservative stories. But just because you're wearing a sari doesn't mean you can shoot the gun. And that's what I feel happens a lot with television. I deal with a lot of, I think I get a lot of women who expect me to conform because I do a lot of Indian socially conservative television, and they get a bit of a shock. Like I remember one woman told me that, "आप तो समझती होंगी ना आजकल ये लड़कियां जो सेक्स के बारे में इतना सोचती हैं, ऐसे करती भी हैं." I mean, it's a part of life. So it's a bit of a paradox for a lot of people to accept. I started doing family shows when I was 24, and I do films like Lipstick Under My Burqa when I'm 42. So I actually have, I think, done more, at a younger age, done more conservative stuff, and at an older age, done much more, what should I say, non-conformist stuff. So I think I don't want to be put in a box. And as women, we should realize that the first thing we should do is not put ourselves into boxes.
I completely agree with you. You know, the fact that you've seen your cinema or your television evolve as you've evolved. You said today you're a lot more non-conformist than you were when you were 25, and that is a reflection of the kind of work that you do on television and cinema. And the question often gets asked, what is the responsibility then of a filmmaker like yourself? Should you then be doing a Padman? I mean, there's space for Padman and there's a space for films like that. But should you, in your narrative on television or films, not force women into boxes? Because that is often the problem.
I never do.
No.
In fact, it's the appearance that we put ourselves into boxes with. I mean, most of the women on TV, even if they're wearing saris or most of them have a job. And that's what people don't see. I actually think there is a social responsibility, and it comes without being very overt about it. You have to be covert about it because there has to be relatability for women to then feel that this is my story. It's not about a woman I don't know. And I also feel that we have been played up against each other many a times. You see a woman in a swimsuit and you say, she's not like me. Women say it more than men. And a woman who's in a sari, oh God, she must be having an unrelatable issue in life. So I think the moment we start accepting each other, we start living each other's stories, and then we don't put each other or stories into boxes.
You know, Namita, I want to pick up on the point that Ekta just made here. And we've seen in the past 48 hours a controversy over the possibility of the press being gagged in India. And that order came in from the Information and Broadcasting Ministry, which is headed by a woman. But unfortunately, the discourse slowly, or actually rather quickly, degenerated into a discourse about the woman and the choices she makes and what she wears and so on and so forth, not about the issue at hand. And isn't that the problem? That when there are serious issues but happens to be pivoted around a woman, the conversation and the discourse degenerates very quickly into woman, clothes, choices made and so on and so forth, and not about the real issue.
I think one of the most important things for women to do is to build up a sense of sorority. In any patriarchal society, women are not encouraged to do this. And whether it is the myths or so many areas of where we get our public thoughts from, because this is lacking, it's very easy to get into these obvious boxes or traps that Ekta has been talking about. But I want to take it to another level. I say that it's because we box ourselves as women that we get boxed by others into women. I actually am uncomfortable with the constant women-centric discourse, which forgets that we are only half the human race, that there's a man inside every woman, that there's a woman inside every man, and it's as a species that we have to take ourselves forward. But to come back to you, yes, it's very, very easy to mock women, to bring them to a level of clothes or to fashion.
To shame them. I mean,
it's not even shaming. It's just sort of putting them in a place where it's easier to deal with. And women do seem adept at doing it to other women. And that is the stories we hear about in television and in books that encourage us to take those easy routes. I mean, we all know the tweet we are talking about.
Yes.
And it was just silly.
I wasn't subtle about it at all.
It was just silly, I'd say.
Yes, it was
and
silly.
I think silliness sometimes diverts us from the real issues. I mean, you have here with us some women of deep and important substance who are doing real work, and they're doing it as human beings. And the minute we pat ourselves on our back and say, oh, I'm a woman and I'm doing this, we are all human beings, men and women. We should not, it's very difficult to reduce a man to the same degree of silliness. This trivialization of women's issues is more sinister and more thought out than we think it is.
No, I completely agree with you. But Falguni, to take the point that Namita made forward on creating this sorority around of women, very often, even in corporate India, and the numbers are there to speak. I mean, yours is a sector, or yours was the sector before you decided to quit financial services and move on to retail, is a sector where India really leads by example, where you have more women at the top leading public sector as well as private sector banks in India than you have anywhere else in the world. But the question is, how do we ensure that it's not just the banking and financial services sector, that it's not just one Ekta Kapoor and one Twinkle Khanna and one of the icons that's sitting here? How do you ensure that you create a larger mentoring network that encourages more women to participate in the workforce, because the numbers are actually declining year on year?
I think, in many ways, India is a big country, and if you look at the numbers, I think there is a lot of empowerment amongst young women, and I think it comes from, like at Nykaa, we say that women should be the main actress in her life. She should be the main actor of her life, and her life should be about herself. And that kind of empowerment, I do see it growing. Like we see our brand Nykaa relates to a lot of young women, and we see that today's women want more equality in all fields. So it's not just about work. They may stay at home, and they may do, things that they feel like doing. It could be, they may want to dance, or they may be an artist, but they must get equal opportunity. So I think for too long, my view has been that you know, like why should I be recognized as a woman entrepreneur? I would rather be recognized for entrepreneurship. And I think that's true for everybody here. They should be recognized for who they are, and it's not just the woman tag. And today I would have liked it more if the hall was more equally filled. I think in banking, I saw that it wasn't that men didn't want to work for women leaders. There are a lot of men who work for women leaders. A lot of people think that there must be only women working at NICA. I'm very proud that we have a lot of women working at NICA, but we also have men working at NICA. So I think women needs to become a more equal topic, just like what Twinkle said. And it should not be about only women, you know, women guiding women. Yeah. I mean, I would love to guide men on entrepreneurship, and I think women should be guided by some of the men here. And there are a lot more men in business, and they can become, you know, they can become guides to a lot more women. So I think this women, for the good of women, I think that has to come to an end.
No, I completely agree with you, which is why I said that the conversation has to happen with men and women together, and it cannot continue to happen in silos with men discussing how to make their organizations diverse, excluding the women in that conversation, and the women separately having a conversation on some of the women-related issues, excluding the men from that conversation. So I completely agree with you. But Tessie Thomas, you know, we shot with you, ma'am, and this was several years ago for a show that I do called What Women Really Want. And it was a pleasure to listen to your story then. And I remember very distinctly, you know, we were shooting with you in your house, and you said, when I finish my work at ISRO and I come back, the thing that I love to do is watch TV soaps. And I don't know whether you were watching Ekta soaps.
Yes.
You were watching Ekta soaps, is it?
Always
Thank you. You got me on the stage today.
So I want to ask you, Ms. Thomas, because you know, you said that science doesn't discriminate between gender. But yet, while we see a lot of women in India specifically take to science subjects, they don't necessarily make it through and take that forward. Even, for instance, in the IIT examination, you don't see the large percentages of women even in 2018. In fact, that number, I think, pretty much continues to be status quo for the last several years. What can be done to encourage more women to take the path that you've taken?
Yeah, there is a lot of difference with respect to last 20 years. If you see, girls are coming up to take up this science stream. And the job assigned like science stream, it's slightly on the challenging side. So one has to be determined and self-motivated to take up science.
Who motivated you?
Within my profession, it is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, our late president. And from at home, to come up to an engineering field, it is none other than my mother, who always felt that we should take up education, because she was qualified to be a teacher, but never went and took up the profession. But we are 5 girls and 1 boy in our house. So all of us were given the equal education and said that all of us should be working. That was the spirit that she has given, and all of us being working women. And I took up the science field and then did engineering and got. And I feel if education makes a lot of difference for the women, and that is where it makes the difference. And if you are knowledgeable, I think nobody can make challenge. You yourself, having the self-confidence with your knowledge, will be able to be at par and beyond with respect to any gender.
You know, it doesn't happen automatically, ma'am. Organizations don't become inclusive or meritocratic automatically. There is something in the culture, the manner in which the leadership operates, that makes an organization truly merit-based. Now, at ISRO, for instance, I mean, you know, you work with
DRDO.
DRDO, right? You know, the Agni project, or even on the Mangalyaan or the Chandrayaan, we've seen a large number of women work with these projects. What do you believe is the ask of the leadership to ensure that an organization becomes truly a merit-based one?
Yeah, it is. If we talked about ISRO and DRDO, these organizations, what I find is that it's the knowledge what it matters finally. So when it comes to the science stream, the gender doesn't play a role. It's the scientist what makes the difference, and we have been given the upper hand with respect to the technology and the knowledge. And we have proven, like we have in ISRO also, many of the missions women are leading. And within DRDO also, you will find plenty of women leading in the leading role. So that makes the difference. It's again what speaks is what technology can do and how much you can be at par with taking up the challenges. It's self-determination to be what you are. That's
self-determination to choose to be what you want to be. Bharti, let me ask you, in your experience of working in the social sector, let's now talk about what, for instance, the government, the social sector, civil society can do to ensure that we don't continue to have the same discourse and the same conversation around these issues. What do you believe is the need of the hour today?
Well, I really believe, I don't even see it like that, what should we do? I think I look at it as a wider thing to do. I mean, I think we're looking at environmental degradation, for example, and the incredible gaps between the poor and the minority of our country, which is the wealthy. I think those are the issues, and if we sorted those out, I think the discourses change, because women really get the worst of it when you have environmental disasters. I mean, look at just say air pollution. Look at what it's doing to children. Not a single child in Delhi, there's no child that doesn't have irreversible lung damage. Now tell me, who's the caretaker? Look at what women's bodies, look at what our bodies go through when you use plastics which have bisphenol A, which leach into your body and give you breast cancers and irreversible. I mean, we're taking the brunt of this. So if we were to address many of these issues, if we were to fight poverty, I mean, at Chintan, we do that by working with women who are waste pickers and take waste from people like you and help them recycle it and make money. That's what we do, really. We're like kudewalas in Chintan. So by the way, if any of you have kuda, please talk to me. But for the rest of it, we need to address those kinds of issues. Why do we have droughts? Why do we have inequity? Why doesn't youth have jobs? Why don't we have water? Why, do you know, in Delhi, not a single waste picker colony has a usable toilet.
Sure.
I mean, those are the big changes you make, and you change that discourse like that. I don't really believe in a sectoral conversation.
Okay, you don't believe in a sectoral conversation. Aarti Vij, let me ask you, do you believe that the need of the hour is to have a more focused approach? Because there is a problem that we're faced with when it comes to gender-related issues. And while, from a policy perspective, whether it's the environment, it's pollution, obviously you need much more holistic, or health, you need holistic solutions. But we have a specific problem. Does a specific problem not require a specific solution when it comes to gender-based issues?
First of all, I want to say one thing. Medically speaking, women are superhuman beings. Okay? I think we are, I personally don't believe in gender discrimination. I think it's so much in the psyche, not so much in the society. And women must believe.
It's not so much in society? You're saying it's all in our heads?
I'll tell you how. We have to understand that we are empowered with many more qualities in our DNA than men do. And if we use them to the fullest, it's equal. I could tell my own experience that I have dealt with 3 main specialties: cardiac, neuro, and transplant. And everybody knows 99.99% experts are all men. And never I've felt that any gender discrimination, because I think at the end of the day, it is the basic principles. If there is honesty, if there is dedication, perseverance, and truthfulness, you can be seen through that. And women are empowered with nurturing, creativity, acceptability, tolerance.
I get all of that. But, and I'll go back to a conversation that I had with a woman leader. My memory, I'm losing it. I can't remember who exactly it was. But, what she told me has stuck in my mind, because the feedback to her from some of her younger colleagues was that, you guys at the top make it look very easy. You make it sound very easy. And it's not. I mean, you're saying that it's in your head, it's a psyche issue, it's not so much a societal issue. I have young reporters who, as soon as they turn 25 or 26, and these are sharp, bright, educated women who start feeling like they're ticking time bombs because, I'm not getting married yet and my parents want me to get married yet. And if I do get married yet, then my in-laws are going to have a say in what time I go out, what time I come back, can you travel, can you not travel? It's not in our heads,
So Shirin, I want to say something. First and foremost is harmony. And to say that we are women first, homemaker, mother, wife first. And that's the role we have to bring harmony in our careers. And to say that I am a career woman, so I don't want to get married. Medically speaking, you have to get married and have children at the right time. So it's only creating a harmony, getting on board, your family, your friends, your society.
But why is it incumbent only on the woman to create the harmony? Why is it not incumbent on the men to also create the harmony?
There are men in the society. We just need to tickle that little sense, and it is there in them.
Okay, I can see a lot of people here on the panel and in the audience, given the applause that we're getting, don't necessarily agree with you, Dr. Vij, but I'll come back to you. Kamal, let me ask you. हिंदी में बात करते हैं. आपको कहाँ से प्रेरणा मिली कि जिस टाइप का आपने शुरू किया, अपना एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का जो जर्नी था वो आपने शुरू किया, कहाँ से आपको प्रेरणा मिली ये शुरुआत करने की?
माझी सुरुवात,
हाँ, मराठी में बोलिए. Sure.
माझी सुरुवात 1-2-99 पासून सुरुवात झाली. सुरुवातीला मी शेतामध्ये मजुरीला काम करीत होते शेतामध्ये, आणि ज्यावेळेस बचत गटाची स्थापना, स्वयं शिक्षण प्रयोग ही संस्था ज्यावेळेस गटाचं काम करीत होती त्यावेळेस मी एक गट स्थापना केली, आणि गट स्थापना केल्याच्या नंतर माझी आई बांगड्या भरीत होती आणि मी छोटा एक व्यवसाय चालू केला, बांगडी व्यवसाय. 2000 रुपयापासून सुरुवात केली आणि 2007ला असं म्हणजे साडीचं, स्टेशनरी, जसं म्हणजे ही होईल तसं मी वेगवेगळ्या व्यवसायाला सुरुवात केली. आणि ही करीत असताना 2009ला मी आशा कार्यकर्ती म्हणून पण काम करीत होते. आणि
थोड़ा रुक के फिर वो अभी ट्रांसलेट करेंगे, फिर वापस मैं आपसे पूछती हूँ.
She says that she started on the field and she started a little institution that decided to first start selling bangles, and she started with all of 2,000 rupees in 2007, and then by 2009 she moved on to doing wider stuff like saris and other items. Sure.
हाँ, तो आप हिंदी में बोलो. आपके हस्बैंड या जो आपके साथ में थे वो आपको बोलते थे कि आप करो, या वो बोलते थे कि नहीं नहीं अभी बस बहुत हो गया?
म्हणजे मी ज्यावेळेस काम करीत होते त्यावेळेस म्हणजे असं घराच्या बाहेर जायचं म्हणलं तर ग्रामीणमध्ये असं बाहेर सुद्धा मला बँक, ऑफिस असं काहीच माहीत नव्हतं. पण ज्यावेळेस मी महिलांमध्ये एकत्र काम करीत होते त्यावेळेस मला कसं बोलायचं, लोकांना कसंही करायचं, म्हणजे त्याच्यातून मला शिकायला मिळालं. आणि ज्यावेळेस मी स्वतः व्यवसाय केला आणि इतर महिला ज्यावेळेस माझ्यासोबत लिंक झाल्या, की ज्यावेळेस MSRLM महाराष्ट्र जीवन उन्नती अभियान आमच्या जिल्ह्यामध्ये ज्यावेळेस सुरुवात झाली त्यावेळेस एक मी 10 वर्षाची वेगवेगळ्या विषयामध्ये आणि स्वतः मी 10 बिझनेस केले. त्याच्यामध्ये सुरुवातीला बांगडी व्यवसाय, स्टेशनरी, साडी, परत मेसचा व्यवसाय केला. परत 2010ला मी लाईट बिल MACBचं लाईट बिल वाटपाचं कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट घेतलं होतं. 2 वर्षामध्ये मी 4.5 लाख बिलं 7 लाखाची वाटप केली आणि त्याच्यातून 90 महिलांना काम मिळालं व्यवसायाचं. आणि ज्यावेळेस 2014ला MSRLMचं आमच्या जिल्ह्यामध्ये सुरुवात झाल्यावर ज्यावेळेस मी संस्थेसोबत काम करीत होते त्यावेळेस संस्था कसं असते, काम जास्त करून घ्यायचं पण मोबदला आपल्याला मिळत नाही. पण ज्यावेळेस शासनाचं काम आमच्या जिल्ह्यामध्ये चालू झालं आणि त्यांनी एवढा रिस्पॉन्स दिला आणि संस्थेनं, जिल्हा परिषद, पंचायत समिती यांनी एवढी माझी ॲडव्हर्टाईज केली आणि मला वाटलं की मी एवढं केलं पण माझं एक काहीतरी स्वतःचं व्यवसाय आपण दाखविला पाहिजे. आणि मला शेती नसताना मी लीजवर 10 वर्षाच्या करारावर शेती लीजवर घेऊन एकरी 10,000 आणि 10% वाढीव, आणि त्याच्यामध्ये आपल्या उस्मानाबाद जिल्हा दुष्काळी असल्यामुळे आपण काय व्यवसाय केला पाहिजे तर त्याच्यामध्ये एक अभ्यास केला मी आणि जिल्हा परिषदमध्ये MEC लघु उद्योग सल्लागार म्हणून मी
जी.
1 वर्षाचं 45 दिवसाचं ट्रेनिंग घेतलं होतं.
Well, Falguni, you've got a lot of translating to do.
So I think over the years she did as many as 10 businesses, and she also made 7 lakh rupees out of those businesses, and she got a lot of support from the local government institutions. She also took a farm on lease for 10 years, and she learned what she should do it, because it was an area where the crop would not grow easily, so she learned how she should go about it. So she seems to have achieved a lot.
Clearly she has, Kamal. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Twinkle, let me come back to you. And you know, we've had an interesting conversation here, and I want to pick up on the points that Dr. Wij made. And I think that is a reflection of the majority that think that way, that it is incumbent on the woman to provide the harmony, to sort of be the glue that keeps it all together, and if that means making adjustments. I mean, I remember having a conversation with the Minister of State for Finance. This was just before the goods and services tax rolled out, and we were talking to him about how do you make the switch over, and you know, is everything ready? And it boggles the mind that the analogy he gave me was that the switch over to the GST is like a newly wed bride coming to a new house and making adjustments and compromises, and that was the way that he explained to me. How do we move away from this discourse where the adjustment and the compromise is always left to the woman? How do we create, as Justin Trudeau in his conversation told me, more feminist men?
I think the problems that we are facing world over, whether you see Me Too or sexual harassment, is because women have been bending over backwards in order to move forward. We are constantly doing that, and it's time we stop. I look at what's happening in all our lives, whether we are working women or staying at home women. Child raising seems to be only a woman's job. We spend 10 years of our lives running to the school, sending their dabbas, dressing them as Hanuman, Dracula, Mahatma Gandhi, you know. And why is it only a woman's job? Where are these men? Unless they're off fighting wars, all of them, they better be there. But they aren't. So, beyond harmony, I don't think in life you'd really get anything unless you demand it. And I think it's time we all demand what we need. And that is what women have to do.
Namita, so, and I think this is really, I mean, for me personally, it was the experience with Lean In that I really, you know, started to ask for, as what Twinkle says, ask for what I believe is rightfully mine, whether it is compensation or you know, other stuff related to that. But as women, you know, you said that we put ourselves into boxes and we need to unbox ourselves. If you could share, you know, one experience that you've had, one turning point that has helped you unbox yourself here with the audience that they could take away with.
It'll sound a bit odd to say that I never had to unbox myself. I was just born out of the box. But I think
you're very lucky.
I have to say this, that, and I mean, it's not as though I didn't have the same traditions and the whatever everybody has to face in a conservative family. And I too have negotiated my way through many things of life. I'm maybe one of the oldest people here on the panel. I have a granddaughter who I can see has a very different life from what I had, but not that different. If you really want to ask me that one experience, I think I always had a temper. And from childhood, my temper was, I mean, I looked like a very sweet, gentle child, but then when this temper unveiled itself, my grandfather would say, "Isme devil aa gaya hai." And actually, there was a little devil inside me that would not take any nonsense beyond a particular point. So that maybe that devil inside me was my angel. But I want to say that I think what my friend Aarti was trying to say is something also of a generational thing. I see my daughters, young women I work with, they are much easier at demanding. And Aarti is one generation beyond me, but sometimes pleasant negotiation takes the place as well. Sure. I think too much confrontation
Yeah.
does not look at the insecurities which as men and women we have. And I think a lot of reinforcement with an occasional devil coming in too. Actually, I don't think it was the devil. I think mere andar ek devi thi.
Okay, so fine, the devil, the Devi, what you like. Falguni, the one experience that really was a life-altering experience for you.
No, I think I didn't do it so consciously, but I decided to start a business which is like betting family fortune on myself, which I think most people don't do. I mean, most women don't want to do that. They want to fit in and they want to, you know, they are scared to, what they feel is they shouldn't bite off more than they can chew, or they should not like ask for too much. But I also agree that it's a generational thing, and it's more like, you know, we are of a different generation and we wanted a more acceptable path, and that's what one did. But I think today's young girls are definitely asking for truly equal support. I mean, many of them are, and many who are not should change their ways very soon, because I definitely feel that a woman should have true independence to do what she feels like and what she wants to do. And yes, adjustment can be on both sides, but it cannot be only women who need to adjust. And I see that with my young staff, like newly married in our data department, and I thought that now she won't wake up at night and do all the work, but she does it, and no one's criticizing her in her home. So I think things are changing, and we should recognize that too.
Yes, certainly we should, and we hope that the change continues. Ekta, let me ask you for that one defining, altering moment that changed the course for you.
Before that, I'd like to say something which Namita and Twinkle answered. You know, I'd like to ask you a question as a journalist. What do you think would be the most asked question to me?
I don't know. When do you intend to get married?
Yeah, actually let me put it better. It is, when will you settle down? My answer to that usually is how much...
I apologize on behalf of my fraternity.
I want to ask them, that's the reason I want to stop free press and fake news. I want to ask them, how much more do I need to settle down? I mean, I really don't think I need to settle down anymore. I've pretty much settled a couple of my generations. But I don't know why settling down is so linked to getting married, you know?
Yeah.
And it's that, so my defining moment was, all my life, my father and mother saved up, or should I say, saved black label and gold label bottles and blue label bottles for my marriage. This year, my defining moment, and I think it's beyond all my career highs and everything, my dad used up all those bottles on his 75th birthday. It was a celebration of today and not expectations of tomorrow.
Excellent, and you know, more. I really do hope that we stop asking women trivial questions, but unfortunately, I don't see that changing anytime soon. But Bharti, let me ask you, you know, was there blue label, black label involved in any of your life-altering stories?
Well, in a very funny way, it does. You know, first of all, I started in NGO. You know, I did a degree in history, then I went to Johns Hopkins, I studied international. So, you know, I think even if I was a man, I would be, you know, 15, 18 years ago, I would have been really badgered. Why, you know, you're young, why are you doing this? You know, degree barbaad kar di kind of thing. So I think there's that thing that comes automatically with my profession, that it's some kind of floozy profession. And it really gets played out because you know, I'm married to someone who basically is a career diplomat and who's currently in Pakistan, although he's sitting here right now. But it's, you know, the kind of things that people, and that's how, they're like, you must go and you must entertain, and he really needs you. And I'm talking of like European diplomats. We think Europe is a little more advanced than us. And the man said, you must join your husband because it's such a rough job. And when he comes back, he leads pleasurable company. I mean, hello. I mean, so do I. I'm all alone in Delhi trying to make this country a little more livable. So I think that gender bias, it's phenomenal. It's like, wahan jao, ye band kar do 2 saal ke liye NGO. I mean, so I'm really waiting for a bureaucrat to be told, aisa hai, forget your promotion, बीवी के साथ बैठो. She's designing, she's running an NGO. I'm really excited for that.
Pleasurable company. Yes, absolutely, I agree. Dr. Vij, let me ask you, ma'am, for your life-altering moment and what you would like to share with us here before we close.
When I said I'll just connect it with the Habini, the initial years of pressures, marriage, child, and being a doctor, I wanted to have a child before I turned 28 and all that happened. I used to go for long, 30 hours, 40 hours duty away from home. My son was 3-4 years old. My husband was very supportive and he was kind to me. I remember one day which changed. Now, this is not for me, but it changed their perspective towards me. I was in the middle of an organ donation. A family had died, and there were other families needing the organ. My husband was coming back from a travel, and it was 2 o'clock in the night, and I said, can you just come have a cup of tea and then go home? He came, and he saw the whole process. I think that the knowledge of what I was up to and what I was doing in the real action scenario, I think just hit him. He went back and told my son, and that really changed the way I got support and the way they stood by me. And there have been times, I'm sorry to say, but I'm blessed to have a great family, but there have been times when I am fed up with challenges at work, and my son and my husband would come forward and tell me that, no, we'll take care of the rest, you go. So I guess that's what I say, involving your family, your friends, somewhere it helps.
No, I agree with you that often as women we don't ask for help because you feel that you can juggle all the balls, and sometimes it is important to reach out, whether it's friends, family, whatever, partner, to actually ask for help when you need it. Dr. Thomas, I will close by asking you, ma'am, one life-altering experience, and what is it that you would like to leave us here today with?
What I feel is that each individual has to make the difference. Now start an introspection into yourself. You will get the total energy to change the environment. That means if you want to do something, I think we all have equal willpower to do that. Come out of the self, like out of box. Never enter the box. So such an attitude is there, then you can make the difference. That's what come me to take up as a project director when I was comparatively in junior scientist, giving a strategic important project to a women. It was, people would have had their own doubts in minds, but what it is, the feeling to do, that I can do and I have to do, that is what makes the difference. And each one of us should feel that we should make the change. We are already 50% population in this country, and the 50% talent has to be nurtured, and that makes the difference. I think we are on to a great start, as fellow has mentioned. So with this empowerment, I think we should step forward and never look backward, and have a step forward. All what you think, what you want to be, will be really done. That's what each one of us sitting here was telling, and that's what we all should look forward.
So don't get into the box, get onto a rocket. Tessie Thomas, Twinkle Khanna, Namita Gokhale, Kamal Kumbar, Falguni Nair, Ekta Kapoor, Bharti Chaturvedi, and Dr. Aarti Vij. Thank you very much for joining us here this morning, and thank you for sharing your stories with us. We hope that we will continue to have a constructive dialogue, and we need to include more men when we have that dialogue. Thank you very much. Congratulations once again. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Shireen. That was a really dynamic session. I would like to personally thank each one of you on stage. Can I request the awardees to stay back for a minute on stage, please? Can we have a photo with the floor presidium? Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules and giving us the opportunity to interact with all of you. Your vision and transformational stories are an inspiration for all of us. Shireen, thank you so much for an immaculate session. Please come in front. Can we request you to come in front of the dais, please, for a picture together? I request the two men awardees that we have, Mr. Sunil Bijlani and Mr. Faisal Khan, to please join us on stage. I request the National President of the FICCI Ladies Organization, Mrs. Vasvi Bharatram, to give us a small insight into what motivates her to lead from the back. Vasvi?
Dear friends, you've heard me speak all year, and I promise you that this is my final address. As I come to the end of my tenure as the 34th National President of FICCI Ladies Organization, I am reminded of a beautiful quote by one of my all-time favorite singers, Madonna. No matter who you are, no matter what you did, no matter where you've come from, you can always change and become a better version of yourself. I fondly look back at my long association with Flo, beginning as a member in 2004 to becoming the chairperson of Flo Delhi in 2010-11, and now the national president in 2017-18. My journey has been enriching and rewarding. Flo has given me the opportunity to grow as a person, explore new avenues, meet wonderful people from different fields, discover inner strengths, and push my own boundaries. It has been a journey of growth and self-discovery. Today, I humbly acknowledge that Flo has truly helped me become a better version of myself. When I embarked on this incredible roller coaster ride last April, I did so with a little bit of trepidation and a lot of enthusiasm. As president, my objective was to build on the efforts of my predecessors, explore new challenges and opportunities, propel learning, increase networking, and ensure enrichment amongst our members. After much brainstorming and discussion, we drew out a roadmap for the year, and I'm really grateful that we have been able to achieve that and more. Inspirational interactions with leading politicians and trailblazers of all fields, behind-the-scene visits, workshops, networking opportunities, recognizing exceptional achievers through awards, an international delegation to Japan, the launch of the Flo Health Initiative, 3 meaningful publications and knowledge papers, and the launch of the 14th chapter of Flo in Uttarakhand. All in all, we've had about 66 events. I have learned new lessons at every step of the way, be it learning to work with an all-women's team, that also each one a volunteer, the importance of advanced planning, time management, keeping calm when everything seems to be falling apart. Leadership to me is about a shared vision and shared responsibility. I am very grateful to an enthusiastic, supportive, and very resourceful group of ladies without whom I could not have hoped to achieve all that I had set out to. Thank you, Pinky Reddy and Harjinder Kaur, for all your help and support with resources and everything else. Jayanti Dalmia and Pujan Mahajan, I can never thank you both enough. You truly have been my right and left hands, my pillars of support, constantly by my side, always putting me and Flo above your other commitments. Vinita Bimbit, immediate past president, has been a very important part of my journey, a fountain of knowledge and experience. She has been a great mentor. The governing body members of 2017-18. It is our collective vision and effort that has made this year what it was. It's been an honor to lead this absolutely dynamic group. I have learned so much from each and every one of you. I am thankful to each one of my 18 chapter chairs for sharing the dream. Your commitment is commendable and the quality of programs have been at an all-time high. My sincere gratitude to the past presidents of FLO for their guidance and wisdom. A special mention to Abha Dalmia ji for her constant support, Malvika Rai for encouraging me to take on a larger role at FLO, Anuradha Goyal for hosting the fellowship event this year, and Anjana Somani and Archana Garodia Gupta for helping create the Women's Artisans Directory. I must also acknowledge Seema Jindal Jajuria for inviting me to the YFLO committee, which led to the start of this journey. Achal Sethi, YFLO chairperson, and the YFLO team of 2017-18, it's been a real pleasure working with you. I'm very grateful to Mr. Rashesh Shah and Mr. Sanjay Baru and his full team at FICCI, without whom it would not have been possible to organize an event like this at this scale in a prestigious venue like Vigyan Bhavan. There were so many people working behind the scenes. I really cannot thank them enough. I would like to thank Rashmi Sarita, Bishaka Shom, and the FLO Secretariat for their wholehearted support and cooperation this year. An organization thrives due to two reasons only: its leadership and its membership. Sincere thanks to all the members of FLO and YFLO for your engagement, participation, and feedback. It has been invaluable. My dear friends, what would I have done without you? The only line I heard from you this year was, what do you need? Just tell us what you need. You came up with the best ideas, you got me the best resources, and sometimes were more enthusiastic than I was. Thank you, you are the best. The Sri Ram School team, the most passionate educators in the country. Thank you for your wholehearted support, even at times when I have just not been available to you. Like for most of us, the biggest challenge this year for me has been achieving a balance between family, work, and the needs of FLO. This life-changing experience would not have been possible without the unwavering support of my family, and I really don't know how to express the gratitude I feel. To my father-in-law and my mother for taking such pride in everything I was doing. For Aditi and Radhika for holding up the home front. I could always count on you. Karthik, Rupak, and Mukul for your interest and sometimes unwarranted suggestions. And Deeksha for coming down from Pune to be here with me today. My husband Ashish and my daughters Kairavi and Apurvi. This year has not been easy for you. Thank you for being my rocks and for encouraging me to follow my dreams. And the rest of the Sri Ram family and the Gupta family, the fact that you're all here in such large numbers means that family really comes first. All my best wishes to the incoming President, Pinky Reddy, and the governing body of 2018-19. I assure you of my complete support and know that you will do a fantastic job of keeping the flag of FLO flying high. Thank you all for reposing your trust in me, giving me this wonderful opportunity to lead an inspiring organization like FLO. As I step down as National President now, I take with me a deep sense of gratitude and fulfillment, strengthened bonds of friendship, and new learnings from a very action-packed, eventful 356 days, the memories of which I will cherish forever. FLO, may you continue to learn, grow, create impact, change lives, and transform India. Thank you.
Standing ovation for Vasvi. What does everyone say? Come on. Thank you, Vasvi. That was truly inspirational. You have always motivated us with your infectious enthusiasm. As the curtains come down on an incredible year gone by, it is a feeling of immense pride to see what our inclusive leader has achieved in such a short span. Vasvi, it has been an honor to be a part of your team. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors and look forward to reveling in the glory of all your pursuits. May I now call upon our National President Vasvi Bharatram to formally begin the change of guard proceedings. I request President-elect Pinky Reddy to please come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure we introduce the National President Flow 2018-2019, Pinky Reddy. Working tirelessly to make a difference, Pinky Reddy is the founder and managing director of Lotus House. This organization works towards reviving and promoting fast disappearing indigenous art and is playing a major role in ensuring that struggling artists are provided the encouragement and resources to revive a dying art and earn a decent living. A philanthropist at heart, Pinky has spearheaded and supported multiple social causes. I request the 35th National President Flo to give her acceptance speech.
A very good afternoon, ladies, and a few gentlemen, as the President said. Namaste. My dear friend, Vasvi Bharatram, the award winners, other distinguished members on the dais, members of FLOW, friends from the media, and most importantly, my loving family and friends who have come across the country to be with me on this very special day in my life. First of all, I would like to express my profound gratitude and deep appreciation to the past president of FLOW for proposing me as the 35th president. I accept this responsibility with great humility and pride. Needless to say, I am very happy with my new role, but I am very nervous too. I want to place on record the stellar work done by Vasvi as the 34th president of taking FLOW to the next level. That shows that the event she's had today itself speaks a lot for it. A big round of applause for Vasvi. I was fortunate to be introduced to FLOW about 10 years ago, and since then, I was inspired by the FLOW motto, the power to empower. FLOW has grown from strength to strength in the last few years. I want to assure you that I will leave no stone unturned to continue on this journey to take this wonderful organization to greater heights. All of us are privileged to be here today, and I believe we should use our position to empower those who are not. I believe that things happen when women help other women. FLOW has been doing some stellar work on multitude of issues relating to women. It is indeed my honor to become the president of this organization for the coming year. I want to take this opportunity to share something about myself. While I was brought up in a traditional family in Hyderabad, my father, Dr. T. Subbaram Reddy, always encouraged me to pursue my dreams. I learned from him the importance of doing good work, which has a positive impact on society. Given that background, I'm sure he is thrilled that I'm taking over as president of FLOW today. I was married at a very young age of 18, and I decided I would be a homemaker in the early years when my children, Malika and Keshav, needed my attention, while my husband, Sanjay, always encouraged me to be independent and do whatever I wanted. I felt there's a right time for everything in life. Looking back, I am very proud of my role as a mother, wife, homemaker, and now a grandmother, as I believe these are some of the wonderful times in life that we women can cherish. However, I used to dream of making a mark of for myself in other areas, and after my children went away to college, I decided it was time for me to evolve. During the last 10 years, I started my own business, which fortunately has been doing very well, and 50% of the profits we make goes to charity. I created my own charitable foundation, which works with education and health, as well as I started taking an active role in organizations which promote the well-being of the less fortunate. I have learned valuable lessons by watching my father-in-law, Dr. G.V.K. Reddy, about how to make my dreams a reality through sheer dedication, discipline, and hard work. When it comes to women, the two role models in my life are the two Indiras. My mother, Indira, who has molded me into the person that I am today. And my mother-in-law, Indira, has given me a deeper understanding on juggling home and business. Today, at this prestigious event, I am blessed to have so many well-wishers in the audience, including the large contingent from Hyderabad chapter, who are here to show their love and support at this overwhelming moment of my life. I cannot thank you enough. On my part, I would like to dedicate the next 12 months of my life to work hard to further the goals of FLOW and make a difference. I can only do it with the help and support of all the FLOW members, office bearers, and the Secretariat. I look forward to working with great sincerity and integrity with each one of you. In the process, get to know you better and build lifelong relationships. My vision for this year is empowered women, empower all. That is very, very important. In closing, I would like to say to all women in the audience, we are born with a special gift. As someone said, women have a unique power to look at the world's problems and discover solutions that transform lives and make the world a better place. Ladies, let us all work together and make the world a better place. Thank you so much. Thank you for being patient and waiting for my speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We look forward to an incredible year ahead. May I invite the Deputy Secretary General of FICCI International, Ambika Sharma, to read out the names of the FLOW governing body for the year 2018-2019.
It's my proud privilege as the Director General of FICCI International to read the names of the newly elected national office bearers. The President, Aparna Pinky Reddy, Senior Vice President Harjinder Kaur, Vice President Janabi Furkan, Immediate Past President Vasvi Bharatram, Treasurer Jayanti Dalmia, Joint Treasurer Poonam Mahajan, Executive Director Rashmi Sarita. Let's give them a big hand. I will quickly read the names of the governing body Delhi. Alka Batra, Avantika Dalmia, Aarti Rajkumar, Ajita Reddy, Anju Narayan, Charu Gupta, Dipali Goenka, Divya Suri Singh, Garima Jain, Hina Shrivastava, Joyshri Das Verma, Lubena Sharpurwala, Meera Goel, Padma Rajagopal, Pragati Gupta, Preeti Sabu, Rati Dandania Mundure, Veena George, Ritu Vadera, Ruchika Gupta, Sabina Sangvi, Sajani Anil Dua, Sangeeta Rai Gupta, Seema Jajodia, Shobha Jolly, Smita Raju, Sonal Ambani, Sudha Shivkumar, Sunita Ebbi, Swati Maker, Trupati Gupta, Venkatesh Lakshmi, Shilesh, Divya Oswal, Ujjwala Singhania, Jyotsna Kaur Habibullah, Archana Luthra, and Anuja Narayan. I'll quickly read the names from the chapter Ahmedabad. The chairperson is Shubha Bhandari, Senior Vice Chairman Babita Jain, Immediate Past Chairman Pavani Agrawal, Y-Flow Chairperson Shriya Damani. Now read the Bangalore names. Chairperson Yashodhara Sharaf, Senior Vice Chairperson Shruti Mittal, Immediate Past Chairperson Lakshmi Ishwar. Now we move to Chennai chapter. Chairperson Anupama Shivaraman, Senior Vice Chairperson Dipali Goel, Immediate Past Chairperson Meena Mohan. Coimbatore, Chairperson Jayanti Manohar, Senior Vice Chairman Poonam Bafna, Immediate Past Chairperson Uma Maheshwari. We move to Hyderabad. Chairperson Priyanka Allahabadi, Senior Vice Chairperson Simple Chatwani, Y-Flow Chairperson Vinita Surana, Immediate Past Chairperson Kamini Saraf. Indore chapter, Chairperson is Rekha Mehta, Senior Vice Chairperson Bhavna Bhalla, Immediate Past Chairperson Neha Karan Mittal. Jaipur Chairperson is Nitasha, Senior Vice Chairperson Shweta Chopra, Immediate Past Chairperson is Meenal Jain. Kolkata, the Chairperson is Suchandra Bhutoria, Senior Vice Chairperson Jyoti Jain, Immediate Past Chairperson Sunita Kanoria. Y-Flow Chairperson is Isha Patodia. We move to Lucknow. Chairperson Renuka Tandon, Senior Vice Chairperson Anuradha Varshne. Madhuri Halwasia is the Vice Chairperson. Immediate Past Chairperson is Archana Khetan. Ludhiana Chairperson is Reena Agrawal, Senior Vice Chairperson Nandita Bhaskar, Immediate Past Chairperson Monica Chaudhary, Mumbai Chairperson Monica Chaturvedi, Senior Vice Chairperson Anuradha Bhatia, Immediate Past Chairperson Minali Shah. The list is really going to come to close soon. Northeast, we go to Sarita Sikaria as the Chairperson, Senior Vice Chairperson Shruti Mala Duara, Immediate Past Chairperson Prabita Bharati. Pune, Chairperson Sangeeta Lalwani, Senior Vice Chairperson Christine Khalsa, Immediate Past Chairperson Varsha. Uttarakhand, which is a new chapter now, Chairperson Shilpi Arora, Senior Vice Chairperson Nazia Izzuddin. Y-Flow Delhi, Chairperson Atashi Singhania, Senior Vice Chairperson Mandira Lamba, and Immediate Past Chairperson is Anchal Sethi. Let's give them a big hand. I'm sure they're all in the audience. Thank you.
With this, we come to the end of the 34th annual session of the FICCI Ladies Organization. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Please join us for lunch.